everyone, I'm Scott Jordan and welcome to this week's edition of Monster Jam Update. We are off and running on the road to World Finals 21, and last weekend all 5 tours were in action with the start of 4-point series, so we're going to get right to it and find out who is in the early driver's seat for those automatic bids to Orlando. Now this week I'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment down below and let me know who you think is going to win each series. We're going to kick things off with Arena Championship Series East in North Charleston, South Carolina. Not to be confused with South Charleston, South Carolina, as Weston Anderson makes his much-anticipated debut in Gravedigger, and his first time out he did not disappoint, winning the Great Clip Skills Challenge, and he would add a freestyle win on the weekend as well. But out of the shadows of the Anderson hype machine, Cody Saucier had an incredible debut in his new Dragon truck, and he would win 5 competitions and both event championships. Brandon Darrow did win a racing competition in Bad News Travels Fast, but the Dragon had Cody Saucier on fire. Now we take a look at the current series points standings. Cody Saucier, as we mentioned, up top with 55. Weston Anderson just 9 points below him. Randy Brown filled in admirably in El Toro Loco, and Armando Castro will make his debut this coming weekend, but the points stay with the truck. Next up for the East Series is the Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina, January 15th and 16th for 2 events. And make no mistake about it, that is right smack in the middle of Digger Country. If you get your tickets now, you will see Armando Castro make his highly anticipated season debut in El Toro Loco. Arena Championship Series Central rolled into the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. Kristen Anderson started the 40th anniversary season of Gravedigger in a huge way as she would land the first backflip of the season on her way to an event championship. Now she would split the 4 event championships with Terminal Velocity's John Zimmer Jr., who was making an early claim at Rookie of the Year. This kid would go off in a big way in Baltimore, winning his first career event championship on Saturday afternoon and adding another one for good measure on Saturday night. I know John Zimmer, who was in attendance, very proud. Now, Elvis Linez, Blake Ranger, Zach Gardner did get some competition wins to start off the season. So let's take a look at the season point standings here. Kristen Anderson sitting on top of the point standings. Tony Oaks and Soldier Fortune, he had a great debut. And then Zach Gardner and John Zimmer Jr. right underneath. Now on deck this weekend for Arena Championship Series Central, 4 events at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. Tickets available right now online at monsterjam.com. As we all expected, it was a heavyweight showdown when Arena Championship Series West kicked off its season at the Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City between Gravedigger's Brandon Vinson and Earthshaker's Tristan England. They gave us a preview of what to expect all season long. Now, Miranda Kozad came out swinging, as well as Bernard Light. They did pick up competition wins, but the rest of the weekend belonged to Gravedigger and Earthshaker. Now, if you're keeping score at home, when it comes to event championships, it's Vinson 3 and England 1, and the rest of the field has some work to do. Now we take a look at the season point standings here. Brandon Vinson on top, Tristan England right behind them, and then quite a gap as David Olford and Jurassic Attack slides into that 3rd spot. Up next for the West Series, we move to the Tacoma Dome in Washington for 5 events beginning Friday night at 7 p.m. Once again, grab your tickets right now at monsterjam.com. On the Stadium Series side, although Stadium Championship Series Red doesn't officially begin until this weekend at the Alamo Dome, some of the superstars took over the Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee for 3 events, and Gravedigger domination continued as Adam Anderson won 2 out of 3 event championships in the black and green wrecking machine. The other championship belonged to Mark List and El Toro Loco, who got off to a red-hot start this season. Now, Mark is a driver who could fly under the radar when you look at that lineup, but certainly getting it done in Milwaukee, which of course is Algonquin for the Goodland. Tom Mentz and Colvinar both won competitions as well last weekend, but as I mentioned, the point series kicks off this weekend in San Antonio, and fans in attendance should be excited to know that the Lucas Oil Stabilizer is on its way to the Alamo Dome and is set to make its debut with Cynthia Gauthier behind the wheel. Finally, we head out to Oakland for the beginning of Stadium Championship Series Yellow, and I was on hand for this one for our television broadcast, and boy was it wild. The hype train, which I believe I had a hand in creating, has been off the charts for Gravedigger's Tyler Menega, and the question of will he triumph in stadiums or will he choke was answered in a big way. He got started on Saturday by winning the Great Clip Skills Challenge and Freestyle on his way to his first career stadium event win. On Sunday, Ryan Anderson said, "Hang on just a minute, buddy. I'm the defending champion. It's my series," and he would end up 1 point shy of a perfect event. Now, Ryan did have an up and down Saturday night before hanging on to take the win on Sunday. Charlie Pauken, of course, he'd win a racing competition, but it was all Team Digger after that. As we look at the point series on Stadium Yellow, Tyler Menega off to an early lead. Ryan Anderson and Camden Murphy tied, and then Barry Musawa, Corey Rummel, and Charlie Pauken all staying in striking distance. Moving into San Diego is where Stadium Championship Series Yellow will continue at Petco Park. Get your tickets right now to see Tyler Mennick and Gravedigger and Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger continue to battle it out. Now, even though he was shut out in the win column in Oakland, Bakugan Dragonoid's Camden Murphy put together a solid weekend, currently sits tied for second in the series point standings. And I had the chance to sit down one-on-one with Camden and discuss how he really felt about Ryan Anderson winning a championship and what was originally his truck. Take a look. All right, Camden, so I wanted to sit down with you one-on-one. 2021 was not an easy year for anybody. We had a lot of ups and downs, highs and lows, but I wanted to get your thoughts on what I'm sure you're sick of everybody talking about. You're tired of hearing about it, but when it comes down to it, Ryan Anderson won a Stadium Championship Series in the truck that was basically designed for you.
I've been racing for over 15 years of my life, and I'm a competitor at heart, so I hate to not be in the seat, right? But when it comes to my NASCAR career, that's the first thing that I always think of when it comes to someone else driving the truck or car that you're supposed to be in. And I hate it. I want to go out there and prove to everybody that I deserve to be there, but sometimes you don't always get the chance to. So, times were tough, and different situations were put on us, and Ryan took over, and he did a heck of a job. Ryan Anderson's one of the best and one of the best of all time. So if there was someone to drive my truck, it definitely I would have picked Ryan for sure. But at the same time, I am a competitor, and I hate to absolutely lose, and I hate to not be driving something. So it was frustrating, and to see him win the championship, like you said, is even more frustrating because I know we can. I know I can. So I was so close to it in 2020, 1 point away. And we were cut short by 2 events, and I knew that we were going to be there. I knew that championship was ours. But it stinks, man. But, it is what it is. I'm Camden Murphy. He's Ryan Anderson. And what Camden Murphy does is all that matters to me. So I'm glad that he did that for Spin Master and everybody. They're an amazing company, and it's an amazing partner to be partnered with. And I'm incredibly humbled and honored to represent them. And I'm glad to finally be back behind the wheel of my baby. It's behind us, and I'm not thinking about that anymore. It's frustrating seeing fans talk about it all the time, but hey, it is what it is. He did a great job, but we're gonna come out here and win this championship.
So let's talk about this series, Stadium Championship Series Yellow. You are squaring off against Ryan Anderson every event.
Yep.
But you're also squaring off against Charlie Pauken every event, who's a guy you know very well because you two had what I would consider the most competitive rivalry in 2020, where you lost the series by 1 point. So is there any type of redemption on your mind now that you get to face Chucky every event, but you also have a chance to maybe show Ryan and the fans that, I'm back, this is my truck, watch what I can do?
Absolutely, absolutely. Even just in October last year when I had the chance to come back, I wanted to tell everybody and prove to everybody that I deserve to be here. And I deserve to be behind the wheel of not only if it's Bakugan, but a Monster Jam truck and be competing against the best of the best here. So to be on tour with some of the best of all time, some absolute legends, people that have been doing it for longer than I've been alive, like Charlie. But again, some of the best of all time, just to be on this tour is incredibly humbling. But definitely some redemption needs to be made, and to really prove to everybody and prove to the world that Camden Murphy deserves to be here. And I think we're going to do that this year. I'm cool, I'm calm, collected, I'm feeling good, and I think this is really going to be our year.
Some very genuine thoughts from one of the most talented drivers in the sport. The latest edition of the Monster Jam Power Rankings have been released, so let's take a look. Gravedigger's Tyler Mennick takes over the top spot. In fact, the first 3 spots all from Team Gravedigger. Ryan Anderson, Son of a Digger, takes a big tumble from number 1 to number 6. All he did was win an event championship in Oakland. Some big risers on the list. El Toro Loco's Mark List up to 7th, and Megalodon's Corey Rummel up to 9th, and Kristen Anderson and Gravedigger rounds out your top 10. We are now officially on the road to Monster Jam World Finals in Orlando at Camping World Stadium May 21st and 22nd. Ticket packages are available right now at monsterjam.com, and you want to get in early on this while you can. Now this year, 4 new world champions will be crowned over the course of 2 days, but we always make it a fun-filled 3-day weekend, and there are rumblings of a possible charity bowling tournament featuring the superstars of Monster Jam and hopefully me, as I have the opportunity to school Cole Stevens and Leslie Mears on the lanes. Get your tickets right now for what is sure to be a history-making weekend at World Finals in Orlando. We debuted on YouTube last week. You can find us there again this week and moving forward as well. And we'll also be all over the Monster Jam social media platforms. If you don't know by now, I got you. We're at Monster Jam on every single social media platform: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Give us a follow and make sure you use the hashtag Monster Jam in your posts. That's all the time we have this week. We'll see you next time on the Weekly Update.